put your SMART or SMART communication goals in black and white, meaning write them down. Write down your goals. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 1695 of What's She Up To Now, documenting the journey as I transitioned originally in 2017 from the brick and mortar corporate world of businesses to the online world of business. And then in 2020 with the pandemic and all the craziness that went on, and it's still continuing to go on, at least here in the United States, I am making sure that my fingers and the rest of me are involved in both offline and online businesses. For the longest time, I was only in the offline world, and then I got in the online world, and I always believed that everybody should have a web presence as the internet grew and grew and grew, but I wasn't necessarily showing up online. So in 2017, following my divorce and the divestiture of all of my assets, our assets that we had joined together, I decided I was going to do something different, something that I wanted and I've always been curious about, and that was to hop on the online world. And on the online world, I found a whole new set of challenges, a whole new set of distractions and ways to make mistakes that I had never figured out in the offline world. Made plenty of mistakes in the offline world, but I found all kinds of new ones to make in the online world. Never really compared myself to others, but I did, and I had imposter syndrome when I came online. Never really went down and had shiny object syndrome or FOMO, things I'd never even heard about in the offline world. All of a sudden I was experiencing those things in the online world, and I decided, yep, I don't want to do that. How can I share and shortcut so that other people, as they're on their journey, don't have to make the same mistakes that I did? Guess what? There's plenty of mistakes for all of us to make. We can figure out our own, but if I can save anyone from making some of the dumb mistakes I've made, I want to be a resource and do that. So today, this month, we're focusing on the area of communication. I use a 9-part framework for setting up my life and for trying to get some organization in the chaos that is the human condition. So physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, contribution, confidence, and communication are the 9 areas that I break down my life in, and I think about and set goals in. And one of the things my dad taught me, excuse my throat, it's been this way for like months, it seems like, when I was a little girl and throughout my entire life, was that we have to write down our goals. I remember right before he passed away, 7 years ago now, this Christmas season, he was on my kids, his grandkids, to write down their goals. That was like the one thing that he wanted to make sure they knew as he was getting sick. And it's so true. I've had times in my life where I didn't write down my goals, and they were really hard to attain, if I attained them at all. And now for the last at least several decades, I have learned that there's so much power in writing things down, putting them in black and white, putting them on paper. Our idiom for supersize your business today was in black and white, and I said, put it in black and white instead of getting it in black and white. If you can get other people's commitments in black and white, that's awesome. But again, that's something that's outside of us. We can always take our own notes and put things in black and white. I have been a documenter for decades, a researcher and studier and documenter for as long as I can remember. And one of the things that helped me in corporate America to, I believe, be super successful was that I always wrote things down. And if I said I was going to do something, I wrote it down so that I wouldn't forget, and then if I committed to it, it was going to get done. And I became very dependable. People could count on, if I said I was going to do something, they didn't have to worry about it because they knew it was going to be done. And if you can create that in your life for yourself and for other people, they rely on you, they trust you, it increases trust and trustworthiness, and all of that is good things as we're building and growing our own businesses or as we're interacting with other human beings. So put it in black and white, or in black and white, shared the came from the Civil War, what it means, where does it come from, how could we apply it to our business, and I shared how I applied it to my businesses and how I use it to make sure that we have clarity and understanding, and that we realize there are a lot more ways to interpret things than just black and white. I think of the tax code, for example. Anybody ever read the tax code? I gave up about 4 decades ago doing my own taxes and reading the tax codes because they got so complicated and so convoluted. I looked to the experts in that area to help me with that in my business and in my life. And it's because there's so much possible interpretation in the tax codes, right? And a lot of times when there's misinformation and there's misunderstandings in what's in black and white, I think of regulations in different government agencies that I've dealt with in different businesses and industries I've been involved in. There is so much gray area in what's written in black and white that sometimes it leads to litigation. Sometimes it leads to challenges in our businesses and in our life that we didn't anticipate, even if it's written down and supposedly very clear, right? This is what we must do according to the laws. Well, is it really clear? Is it really cut and dried? Are there exceptions, etc.? We want to be as clear as we possibly can, knowing that there's still going to be gray areas in life. We talked about goal setting, communication, specifically goal setting, in the annual challenge today, and I shared different areas we could set goals in. Talked about SMART goals. I talked about SMIRT goals. If you don't know what those are, hit me up or do a quick Google search. There's literally millions of pieces of information on goal setting and goals and SMART goals and SMIRT goals on the internet. If we want to know something, we just ask the question nowadays. A lot of people, I have not turned on my Alexa, but I had Alexa since Alexa came out, where you can just ask and speak in your room, wherever you are that Alexa is. You can ask her a question and she'll search the internet and tell you the answers that she finds. Or she'll play music, or she'll set alarms. She'll do all kinds of crazy things. Again, in this new house, I did not set her up yet. I don't, for personal reasons, I just don't like stuff listening to me all the time. Not that I care, but it's just something I haven't done yet. But there's no excuse for us not getting our questions answered. There's no excuse for us not asking questions, because there's so many ways to get answers to anything we could possibly imagine nowadays. So that's it. That's all I've got today. I've got a bunch of projects that I got to get working on, and I've got to hone in and do my daily action item today, because I realized that my communication goals, as I've been doing the annual challenge and focusing on different areas of my life for the first 8 months of the year, the 9th area of my life has been kind of ignored and not necessarily being specifically worked on toward my goals in that area. So just like everybody else, I am working on that this month as well. If I can help you in any way, hit me up. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow. Have an awesome day. Bye.